Now that's a reveal. Hey cuties, PeachY here, welcome back to a new video, and in this video, yes, we have a ton of Monster High news to talk about, from the Comic-Con reveals being huge deals. Michael Myers, Oogie Boogie, Krampus, Draculaura, Holiday, we have Dawn of the Dance Crew Productions first looks, we have breakdowns on all of those releases, but also updates on Fang Vote Abby, updates on Carnival Fright's Laguna not being cancelled, and more. So stay tuned, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hype this video, cuties. Consider becoming a channel member today. Link to join is down below if you're able to, of course, to support the channel that way. No pressure, and so you do not miss out when I post more content like this coming your way and keeping you up to date with all the doll tea you love. But for now, let's get into it. Okay, firstly, yes, Carnival Frights got leaked a couple days ago. We talked about all 4 of those dolls in my previous video, but initially we thought Laguna was cancelled. It seems that she is not cancelled, so that is great news because I do think this Laguna is really pretty. So just, yeah, small update. Laguna does not seem to be cancelled after all. She seems to be a part of this line. So great news. I hope that's actually true. I hope that, you know, this all comes to fruition, and she also looks good in the final version, because obviously these are just the kind of like just touched up versions of the leaked images and so forth. Like, these are not final, these are prototypes. So yes, and by the way, apparently AI was not used for the clear looking images of the 4 dolls. A real person was just clearing up the image based on a blurry something. So it's not AI. Good news, not AI, just it looks AI because it's blurry and it looks, yeah, but it's not. It's a person cleared that photo up for all of us. So it's not AI, but Laguna's here, she's coming, and that is very exciting. What do you think of Laguna not being cancelled? Then we had a first real-life look at Fang Vote Abby here in her packaging, and this one picture kind of caused a commotion. A lot of people started to compare this version of Abby with the final product, like the final image that we saw initially with Fang Vote Abby, and people were saying that the fabrics look cheaper and the face looks wonky and the packaging is not nice and this and that. I don't see it. I think she looks lovely, but are the textiles somewhat a little bit different? Probably, you know, yeah, maybe some of the colors are off, maybe the face is not the same like in the, you know, initial pictures we saw, because probably those were prototype. You know, the images we saw while we were voting, those were not of the final product. Those were prototype images. So you got to keep that in mind here. And so obviously, you know, between a prototype and between a final version of something, it might look different. There might be a couple of differences to be seen. So I'm not surprised if something does look a little bit different. I don't think she looks bad. So yeah, I don't see it. I think she looks lovely. The fabrics still look really nice. Like, it looks like, you know, she's worth it. So I'm glad I pre-ordered her, you know, and she's coming very soon, probably. I think she's supposed to ship out December of this year. So kind of early for us to be getting a inbox picture, but I guess production already kind of finished. Yeah, who knows? But what do you think of Abby here? Does she look really cheap to you, or she looks fine? I think she looks fine. Now we get into Comic-Con, yes, but firstly we have Laguna here to talk about Ghouls Rule Laguna. She was at Comic-Con. You could go see her, and here we have a couple of pictures shared by Garrett Sander himself of Laguna, and she looks lovely. You know, I got her, I pre-ordered her. She's supposed to ship out by the end of July. Did you get her? That's the question. I think she's still available on Mattel Creations. I'm not sure. I did not check just now, but I think she should be. She might be available for a couple more days. And again, she's a pre-order, so that probably also helps. But I think she's lovely. She looks great here in the little display that they had for her. But also, we had behind the scenes pictures of Laguna Blue Ghouls Rule. They had a whole panel for Laguna here to take a look at the previous, you know, like whole journey of how they ended up with the final version and how she looks, you know. So it's always lovely to see behind the scenes anything of Monster High, of any of the dolls we love, because it kind of shows us, you know, how they're made and the journey that designers go through, you know, between textiles prototypes of the face screenings, and just hair rooting, accessories, packaging, all of it. Like it really is a journey. It takes a whole village, and you can see here that it wasn't easy. They initially had a different kind of silhouette planned for the dress, but it turns out that the dress, once they kind of had a first draft of like how the dress would look on the doll, it did not sit right or something, so they scrapped that, they pivoted, and then they turned it into the dress that we know now with the final version. So it's stuff like that maybe on the artwork looks lovely, but maybe they tried it out and it just didn't work on the actual doll. So that's why stuff like maybe the fins around her ears, they couldn't do that. They couldn't do like the oversized like little fins, gill whatever things around her head, like in the concept art. They couldn't do that, I guess. So they just settled for, giving her blue streaks to kind of give that pop of blue around her head. The headdress also looked different at one point. She was supposed to have a pumpkin pail at one point, but they scrapped that. I'm not sure why. It's a small piece of plastic, so okay. But the packaging as well, it all tells a story, so it's always lovely to see, designers talk about what they went through, how they got to where they ended up with the final version. But what do you think of these behind the scenes looks? I think it was really fun to see because, again, it just shows us better insight into perhaps why some things did not work out. But yeah, I think she looks still really good in the end. But what do you think? And did you get Laguna? Now, when it comes to Comic-Con overall here for Monster High, did you attend? Were you there? It seems like a lot of people went to visit the Monster High section of the Mattel booth. A lot of people, even in costumes, cosplayers. Wow, these costumes look amazing. Like that Laguna, like that person did an amazing job. It looks just like her, even with Neptuna in the bag. But yeah, all these cosplayers, it seems like a lot of people had fun attending. Even Moonspell Magic had a little display at the Monster High area, and you could go see the Monster High, the Moonspell Magic dolls in person. A really cute little section, but I think they also were giving out like little cards, so that's really fun, exclusive little cards. But people were wondering like what could the reveals be. Dawn of the Dance was a big kind of like rumor because obviously that's dropping in a couple of months. It's group production. It would make sense. Universal Monsters as well, getting officially revealed makes sense. But other than those two things, we weren't quite sure. Like, what could they possibly reveal? Was it Buffy? Buffy, because we saw leaks? Well, it turns out it was everything that we did not expect and everything that we did not know about. So we had actual reveals, genuine reveals for real, legit, big time reveals that I did not know about, that I think a lot of people did not know about. And I think that is really nice. Leaks are fun, but there's definitely something very fun, even more fun, about having genuine reveals at Comic-Con and not having it be ruined by leaks and stuff. So this was just so cool that they had actual like good reveals, big time, like Michael Myers, Krampus, Oogie Boogie, Holiday returns here with Draculaura, Halloween. Yeah, and then of course we did have a first look at Dawn of the Dance as well, and also first official look at Monster High Universal Monsters, but yeah, so, but it's still, it was a huge deal, and I do think it was just, a lot of people were shook. Kev. I was shook. I was like, when I first saw the leaked images and stuff, I was like, this is not real, this is AI, this has to be some kind of like, mock-up, because it just some of these dolls looked exactly like how you imagine like AI versions of Skullectors to look like. It looks like customs, it looks like one of a kinds. But no, they're legit, they're final versions. These are coming, and wow, insane. Firstly, we got Universal Monsters, which yes, we have seen previously. By now we've seen so many pictures of them before, so they're not really a huge deal anymore. But yes, they officially got revealed, and they have a early drop on Walmart right now, exclusively to Walmart. And in September, that's when they will be officially released internationally, also on Mattel Creations. Yes, so if you live across, not in the US like me, we're gonna have to wait until September until we can get them, because yeah, right now they're only available on Walmart in the US because yeah, I guess they're exclusive for some reason. I think it's because of Walmart Con. That's a thing. I have no idea. But yeah, did you get any of these dolls already, or are you waiting for them to go on sale to become officially wide released? Yeah, September is going to be a huge month, so that's when they're going to be again officially released, and the price point is around $40 US. Again, I think I've shared my opinions, right? They look the same in person as we saw in the stock photos. You know, they look fine. It's just they're a bit expensive for what they are, essentially, right? That's the main issue here. They're expensive. They don't really live up to what you get. You know, you're paying 40, and I'm pretty sure you're paying a lot here because of the licensing. That's really it. If they didn't have the licensing, it would probably be cheaper. But yeah, no, it's just, that's how it is. You know, I think they look cool enough. I will get them eventually, but I'm also not going to be like prioritizing them over some of these other Skullector reveals that we had. Like Dawn of the Dance Crew Productions finally getting officially revealed. That was a huge deal. Again, we knew of their existence prior, but this having a first look officially, I mean, just again, huge. We finally got to see what they look like with the new face screenings, the new updated versions. Well, not updated, but you know, like the crew productions always have, you know, they always have to start from scratch when it comes to reproducing clothing pieces, accessories. Like, well, they have accessory molds and stuff, but you know, like it's not the same as it was like 10 years ago when they initially came out, right? So, or 20 years, it's been a while, right? So obviously it takes a little bit to kind of like get back into the swing of things. Like, how do we replicate this texture or this fabric or this pattern, these accessories? Some fabrics do not exist anymore, you know, that they used to have. So it's definitely not as easy as we might think it is to have co-productions of certain lines. So having seen the first look here, and they look so faithful, like that is a huge deal. So yeah, I am very excited. I do have Claudine Cleo Laguna originally, but I never got Frankie and Draculaura. So like for me, I would love to get those too. I think my original dolls still look fine, but you know, I might just get all 5 if I can. They are going to be like around $32 US, and they're officially releasing in October. So that's right, October is the month of Dawn of the Dance Crew Productions, and they will include all of their accessories. We did have a couple of stock photos for a couple of these dolls early already, but we're missing stock photos for Cleo and Draculaura. But yeah, they essentially come with the stand, which is uniquely colored. We have the eye coffin with the unique stickers for each ghoul. We have their fabric purses. That is so cool that they have fabric purses. The little invites, the cards. Yeah, they include all of it. They look so cute. I think for me, again, like they look exactly how I imagined them to look like. You know, they are essentially the same doll, but just, you know, perhaps a little bit updated with the face, you know, the hair, perhaps, you know, again, some of these textures, you know, the original textures, the fabrics do not exist anymore. So they had to, you know, outsource, they had to manage and figure out how to, you know, get them looking the same still. So I think overall, Annalise, who is the designer who did Dawn of the Dance, she did an amazing job, because I do think they do look so faithful, and they really do capture essentially the same essence of the original dolls. And I think a lot of people are going to be very hyped about this co-production release. Now, when it comes to the other 4 genuine reveals, these were big deals, but it's interesting to talk about how what we did not see get revealed here at Comic-Con, which, like, for instance, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer 2-pack. You know, we had a concept art leak that a while ago. We had the purse for Buffy, the book purse leak. So you'd think like, oh, it's releasing soon, perhaps August, September. But like, no, they did not have a first look reveal for the Buffy 2-pack. So that kind of, to me, makes me feel like maybe it's been delayed for some reason. I mean, obviously the reboot show just got canceled, so that's probably... It's got something to do with this whole 2-pack perhaps being somewhat delayed, but I do hope that even if it has been delayed, they still will release a 2-pack, because I do think a lot of people will still buy it. You know, reboot, no reboot, you know, these 2 characters are not based on the reboot anyway. They're based on the original show of Buffy and the male character, Angel or Spike, I have no idea, but it's a vampire. So they're two dolls, and they're not based on the reboot. They're based on, again, the original characters of the show. So I feel like they don't need to have the reboot happen for this 2-pack to release. They can still drop it and it will still sell out because Buffy is a huge IP. It's a huge name. So anyway, I guess they have to work out some details, I guess. But overall, doesn't matter if it's been delayed. I just hope that they still release it at all, because it would be a real shame if they just completely, scrapped those dolls, which inevitably, they probably already have like ready to some degree to, release. So, I hope that they release them eventually, just this year, hopefully. Don't cancel them, because I think, people will buy this 2-pack reboot. No, again, who cares? Like, to be honest, like, it's the original show that this 2-pack is based upon, not the reboot. So I think they can still release it. Like, to me, it's like they should have no issues. But obviously, I don't work at Mattel. I have no idea about how these things work. But I just think it would be a real shame if they completely scrapped the Buffy 2-pack. But what do you think? Again, fingers crossed, releasing soon this year, maybe next year, I guess. But what do you think of the Buffy Vampire Slayer 2-pack not being officially revealed here? Moving on now to the official reveals. Firstly, we got Krampus here because we actually got the least images of this doll. We just have one promotional picture, no stock photos yet, although the listing is kind of like already available on Mattel Creations. So yes, Krampus is officially releasing in December, so that is definitely a ways to go. It's not happening yet, but she is releasing very soon. And when I first saw these first look pictures of the doll at the Comic-Con event, I was like, what? You're telling me they made an entire Monster High doll based on the Krampus movie that came out ages ago? That, to me, that Krampus movie is definitely like a deep cut. Like, I don't think a lot of people are like, watching the Krampus movie every Christmas, like holiday season. Like, it's a Krampus horror movie. I don't think a lot of people I don't think there's a huge fan base of that movie, but it's kind of shocking to me that they still made a doll based on the Krampus character from that movie, because again, it's like there's such a small fan base on that movie, I think, for me at least, because I've seen the movie, it's cool, but like, it's like, I don't feel like it's not at the level of like Halloween or Nightmare, but that's one of the reasons why these Skullector releases, collaborations, are always so interesting, because sometimes they do a huge collaboration like with Halloween, which we'll get into, but then they also do collaborations with like Krampus, which is like a smaller movie that again came out a while ago. It is a horror movie, yes, but still it's not like it has a huge fan base, and every year it's like, people popping off talking about like, no, I don't, at least to me. Again, all due respect to the movie, I don't feel like there's a lot of hype around the movie. Again, it came out a while ago. It's a cool movie, but like, again, it's just, to me, it definitely seemed like a deep cut, like very niche. But no matter, doesn't matter, because apparently people love this doll. Even if the deep cut is true, and the movie is not a huge, IP, still people love the doll. If they've seen the movie, yes or no, doesn't matter. They love the doll itself. So I do think that they were able to translate the design of Krampus really well into the actual doll. I mean, she's got a tongue. She's got a tongue accessory that you can remove from her mouth. That to me looked really weird. It looks so weird. The tongue just like sticking out of the lips. Like, it just, to me, it doesn't look like it fits. But again, you can remove the tongue, thankfully. So that to me is like a huge relief. Because again, to me, it just looks a little bit wonky. And the tongue was just, I mean, again, Krampus in the movie has a tongue. It does happen. There's imagery, but like, it's like, it's just, I mean, to me, it is kind of campy. It is kind of fun, I have to say. It's like cool that they had the tongue. But yeah. Anyway, you can remove it, and she has the bell as an accessory. She has a gingerbread man as an accessory, which looks identical to the gingerbread man in the movie. So I do love like all these references, the details. Like, again, I've seen the movie, like it's been a while, but I've seen it, and all these details, like I do recognize them. So I think they were able to really do a good job here for this design of Krampus. And also, she's got horns. Like, what? I am very intrigued about the actual body sculpt here for Krampus itself. Like, are the horns actually like part of the head mold? I mean, you'd think so, but you know, could be somehow differently placed. I have no idea. But then the outfit itself looks so fun. We've got this huge cloak with like the fur trim around the hood. That looks so luscious, like it's velvety, like the fabric of the hood, the cloak, you know. I do think the budget probably went into creating the cloak, having it be so nice and soft. The dress underneath looks a little bit simple. It's just like a red dress, but the boots have like these hooves. The chains have like this color detail on them. The belt, you know, the chain belt. So I do think overall, like, this is a really cool doll. Like, definitely for sure. For me, it's a bit weak. It's like, I just did not expect for Monster High to ever do a doll of Krampus, you know, based on a movie that like has a small fan base. Like, it's just, again, all due respect, but like Krampus the movie is not like a huge movie. Like, it came out a while ago. It's not like, you know, like a huge IP. But yet here we are. They made a doll based on Krampus and like pop off, you know, like she looks so good. Like, I have to say, she's a really good doll. The hair also being super long is lovely. And I think the makeup, oh my gosh, the makeup looks so fun. I love the red and just the eyes and the expression. She is a really kooky, weird doll, but like, it's Krampus. And the hands also having like those longer nails, like that is just so fun. Like, yeah, I have to say, the only thing that could ruin this doll for me is if like the heels have some weird object designs, but we can't see the shoes from behind. So we'll have to wait and see how bad the object heels are, if they have any at all. Let's, you know, fingers crossed that there's no weird object heels, but I think from the front, at least, the cloak, the face, the horns, the tongue. Like, this is a really fun doll, I have to say, even if it doesn't make sense to me why they would make it just seems like such a deep cut, you know, like, of the movie. But you know, regardless, even if people haven't seen the movie, I do think people are gonna buy this doll because she is just so unique, you know, like that is a one-of-a-kind doll right there. She looks so cool. So yeah, what do you think of Krampus? Are you gonna buy her in December? $70, by the way. She is $70, but that is kind of to be expected, right? So December, $70, buy or pass? Let me know down below. Have you seen the movie? Next up, we had the reveal of Oogie Boogie, and this is a Nightmare Before Christmas doll, of course, based on the character of Oogie Boogie, a huge Disney villain. The main issue I have here is that unless you have Sally and Jack, this doll kind of, you know, seems alone. Like, she seems lonely. Like, if you have the 2-pack of Sally and Jack, perfect. Get this doll. They look amazing together. But if you don't, I don't know if she looks good by herself. You know, I do think a lot of this, the power of this doll really lies within if you do have the original 2-pack, and if you do, you know, it kind of like that further kind of makes this doll looks even better. But when it comes to her design by itself, when I saw her leak, when I saw the first looks, I was like, oh, wow, she's wearing a bed dress. She's wearing bed sheets, you know, like it's a potato sack. But then I remembered, isn't Oogie Boogie like just a sack? Like, that is quite literally his design in the movie. Like, he is like this mythological, like, fantasy creature that's a sack. He's a sack, you know. He is a potato sack, right? Like, he's like a burlap sack. He's brown in the movie, right? He has all these like, he's got all these like strings like tying him together, but he is like a bag creature thing, demon in the movie. So that actually is accurate. That's actually, yeah, okay. So the dress looking like a potato sack or like bed sheets, that is okay because it's supposed to look like that. So I had to laugh because, like, again, originally I was like, that looks like bed sheets, that looks like a sack, but that's actually accurate. That is faithful. So I can't even knock it because it's like, that is accurate. So Okay, I guess, go off. The one time where they're able to like play it safe with an outfit, it actually looks good because it plays into the character of actually being like a sack. So the dress is kind of like a strapless dress here that flows back, behind her. It's like a big train. Again, it looks like bed sheets, like it looks like just a sack, just. But again, it that is accurate. That makes sense. And all around the dress, we've got this like black plastic belt thing going on that has these like little bugs hanging as well. That is obviously also part of the character because Oogie Boogie can like spit out bugs and stuff. I think he is made out of bugs in the sack, right? Again, it's been a while since I've seen the movie, so pardon me, but I do think bugs do play a big role for Oogie Boogie, so that's fun. I do like how neon she is, because you'd think Oogie Boogie, like in the movie, I don't think she is neon. In the movie, the character design of Oogie Boogie is not green or neon. Like I think it's like more of like a brown like color, right? So I don't think he's green in the movie, right? But so it's kind of fun that here in the doll, they actually kind of like made her neon, like very neon. Like if you shine like a UV light on her, like she's probably gonna look like very neon, like those colors will pop in the dark, so under the violet light, or what's it called, you know what I mean. So ultraviolet light, yes. So that's gonna look so fun, when you do that. But I do think also when you just have her here like in normal pictures, the colors really just are so vibrant. Like the skin is vibrant green, which matches the vibrant green dress. We've got this pattern of bugs. The lining underneath of the dress also has like bugs. The boots are like nice. We've got like different looking platforms that look like candy or something. So I appreciate how there's no object heels here. The shoes have no heels that look wonky or random or out of place. So yay, that's great. That's great to know. The nails are painted, which looks lovely in black. Also, the purse is the bathtub, and then hanging from the purse are like these Labubu looking keychain charms, bag charms of the characters from the movie, the kids from the movie, whose names I forget because I haven't seen the movie in a while. So, but the names. It's the characters. It's the little kids. So I do like how they were able to, use this reference and basically turn it into like, again, a Labubu looking bag charm for the purse, which is a bathtub. So that just, yeah, iconic. I love that. I like her sleeves and the face. Like, I did not even talk about the face. The face is lovely. Like, she looks so snatched. Oh my god, she looks so like, whoop, like the eyes are just like, just so fierce looking, like a fox. She looks evil. Like, I love it. I love how in the actual like pupil, like the iris has this like a swirl kind of design going around in purple, like pink, just a stitching across her mouth, just the makeup, the eyebrows, even the hood, which to me does kind of feel like Disney Italy Forever cosplayer-ish. Even the hood is kind of cute because it does kind of incorporate the original design of the character. You get the kind of look with the hood and that little bug hanging from the tip, which is so fun. The hair seems to be crimped, seems to be kind of long, which is fun. And yeah, I think she's a really cool doll. I don't have the Sally and Jack 2-pack, so if I get this doll, she's gonna be just by herself. So yeah. And that 2-pack of Sally and Jack is so expensive. Like, it's 500 plus 1,000 on eBay. Like, it's just too expensive. It's too expensive. I mean, I could save up, I guess, but just there's so many releases happening right now. So much stuff is releasing right now. It's crazy. So like dropping 500, just like, like easy peasy, like it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's just, you gotta, like, for something that big, also, like, I don't want to support scalpers. Like, these are people who know that they're scalping this product, like, they are pricing it higher because they know that it's just the rare FOMO excuse. Like, ugh, I hate it. So maybe they'll have restock of Sally and Jack one day before I die. And then I can display them with Oogie Boogie, because I do think they will look so good together. They're gonna look so good. But even if I don't have the 2-pack, I do think I'll probably get this doll just because she is so fun. Like, I love the colors, the green, the sack design for her dress, the mug. It's snatched. So yeah, I do like her. She's really fun. I mean, yes, you've seen the movie, but like, what do you think of this design? The doll she's releasing in October. right around the corner for Halloween, perfectly in time. And she is also $70 US. So buy or pass, let me know down below what you think of this Oogie Boogie doll. She's so fun. She is really like so fun. Also releasing just in time for Halloween, we have the Skullector Draculaura Holiday Halloween doll here, which yes, Holiday is back. Originally, we thought that this theme for Monster High collector dolls was cancelled or discontinued, but no, it seems to be back. You know, Draculaura, this is a holiday doll of her for Halloween, so very exciting. Hopefully that means that we'll get more holiday dolls of other dolls and 2-packs, so we shall see. Maybe we'll get even more Halloween dolls, specifically of the other G1 ghouls in outfits like this, similar to Draculaura, where it's kind of like masquerade themed. That would actually be so fun if they had one every year, and every ghoul had like a fun, unique mask, headpiece, veil kind of theme. And again, like if it was like all masquerade themed. But anyway, for now we have Draculaura, and people are loving this doll. I mean, I'm not surprised. It's Draculaura, 1. Number 2, it's a Halloween themed doll. And number 3, it's Draculaura. So I think she's so lovely. You know, I am a bit tired, I guess, if you will, of always Draculaura this, Draculaura that. But, you know, to be fair, we had Laguna here at Comic-Con, not Draculaura. So we have just a new Draculaura doll for this holiday Halloween doll theme. So I think she looks good. I think now having, you know, being able to sit with these images, you know, like it's been a couple of hours, right? So I'm not as hyped anymore because I've been able to sit, you know, I've been able to digest these images, and I'm like, okay, she's fun, she's cute, definitely for sure. And she's also she's not 70, actually, she's 65, and I for sure thought she was gonna be like $100 because it's like, you know, like Mattel would for sure price her at $100 US, but they didn't. So I'm so happy that she's like 65 and not 100, because like 65 is so much better. And at that price point, she looks even better of a doll. You know, like she looks like she's even more worth it because she is $65 US. Of course, in international prices with shipping, it's going to be more, but it's still like good. It's not a bad pricing, not at all. And I think she does look really fun. The face, the pigtails, the huge veil headdress thing, like what? It reminded me of Kuromi. So initially when I saw these pictures, I was like, is this a collaboration with Kuromi? Like, what is it? What's happening here? No, it's just a Halloween Draculaura doll, and she just happens to have like these bat-looking ear headpiece thing because, you know, it's her theme, so it makes sense. I also like the veil. I like the designs in her eyes, the pigtails, again, like I mentioned. The dress is interesting. She's got like this underskirt, but then also like this overskirt, which is like very silhouetted, you know, like in the stock photos, it sticks out really like almost like 90 degrees. But like in the real life pictures, you can see that the actual, like those pieces kind of like they lay lower because obviously gravity. So it seems to be a bit lower than it's supposed to be intended with like in a stock photos. But nonetheless, I do think the train, like the overskirt, is so fun. I love how the underskirt, you know, like the shorter skirt on her dress is kind of like a reference to like Draculaura from Sweet 16 100, right? So, because that skirt reminds me of that doll. Like heavily. I feel like it's even like the same lace trim in white. It's very similar to Draculaura 1600. So love that reference. And of course the boots have actual like lace up ribbon here on the front in pink. That is actually really nice. Like I love that they actually have the real ribbon here incorporated into the boot. The object heel also is not too bad. It's like a haunted mansion kind of look on the back. So yeah, I think she's lovely. You know, she's not bad. She's 65. Like that's at that price point, like I can't really complain. Like she is a good doll. I just hope that we get more holiday dolls of the other ghouls and like Halloween get-ups like this. That would be a fun collection to do if they have that in mind. But what do you think of this Draculaura doll? Like, are you kind of sick of Draculaura, but do you still like this doll? Are you gonna buy her when she drops officially again in October? Of course, just in time for Halloween. Or do you think maybe you'll have to prioritize Oogie Boogie? Because yeah, these are 2 dolls in 1 month. Oogie Boogie, Draculaura, they're both like around, well, Oogie Boogie 70, Draculaura 65, but still basically the same price point. So what do you think of this doll? Do you think she's a good return for holiday the theme, or maybe she's not as strong as people make it out to be? Because I do think she's lovely, but there's a lot of plastic elements on her design, like again the headdress, which I don't mind because obviously how else would they make it, but also the shoulder piece is plastic, and then the like bust piece, again, super cute. Like, I love the pink pail, the pumpkin pail as well. All of it, it's really not bad. I'm just saying, like, you can see the highs, like the pros, you can see the pros, but you can also see like where they have to cut some of the cost, you know, for the budget. So but yeah, what do you think? And the last reveal, probably the biggest one, I think, was the Halloween 2 Michael Myers Skullector doll. And this is just one for the history books, one for the doll history books. Like, this is gonna go down in history, in Monster High history, as one of the better Skullector dolls ever released. Like, this is kind of like insane. Like, this is yeah, based again on Halloween 2 Michael Myers, and I haven't seen Halloween 2, so I'm not really sure why specifically it's a depiction of Michael Myers from the second movie and not from the first movie. He's in both. He's in all the movies, right? So not just the second. So again, I have no idea, but obviously there's a specific reference here with Halloween 2 and this depiction of Michael Myers in this movie. So this doll, there's so many references, like, goodness me. First of all, the head is insane. Like, it looks like a mask, but obviously it's not. Like, it's just the head is sculpted that way to look like there's a mask. So, you know, there's like this depth perception of like the shadows on the eyes. It looks like there's like different layers, but no, it's again just one solid piece. So that is such a fun illusion that they did with the head, the face screening. And then they also have this, like, you know, around the eyes, this like red glitter, like drooping down, which obviously again reference to the movie, or one of, yeah, from the second movie, where it's kind of like, well, in the movie it's not glitter, obviously, so it's blood. So that's really fun. A really good detail of the expression of Michael Myers here, obviously, because in the movies he's wearing a mask, but here it's a doll with the actual like head face. There's no mask here. So I like how even though there's no mask, they're still able to kind of, you know, translate the expression of like if it was a mask. Like, there is no expression here. Like, she looks stern, like she looks like just like she's, you know, like she's not smiling. There's no sassy wink here. There's no sassy smirk. Like, it's just like a fully like stern look, like again like a mask would be. So that just looks so good, really accurate. And the hair is brown. It's really long, you know, it's kind of like slicked back. Obviously in the movies he doesn't have long hair. It's more of just very spiky, very random, messy. So obviously the doll has longer hair, which looks fun. It's fine. I mean, I feel like they could have also given her like shorter hair, but you know, it's fine. The outfit is so interesting. We've got this like one piece jumpsuit, like mechanic looking suit. Again, haven't seen the movies, if at all, ever. So just, you know, if it's a reference, then I think that's probably what this is. The mechanical suit, bodysuit. Yeah, probably. It's all on purpose, right? So we have the little name tag, which is like printed on. The belt has like all these like chromatic silver, like dangling weapons. Like, that is so sick. And then also like one of his earrings is like the pumpkin pail. Then also on his belt, same kind of like accessory. And speaking of, he also includes a pumpkin pail as a purse. And not only that, but you can actually open it and you can actually stick the knife in the pumpkin pail. There's a little slit where you can kind of like store it inside the pumpkin itself. So that is a really fun detail that you're kind of like able to kind of work with these accessories, and they're, you know, playable, you know, they're interactive. So I love that detail. The hands have gloves, which is so fun. They don't have painted nails on this for her, but that's okay. I feel like she doesn't need painted nails. And then the boots, the object heels are so fun. If I do feel like they kind of break the fourth wall, because like, why would Michael Myers be wearing her own like VHS tapes from the movie? Like, that's a bit. Obviously, again, this is not Michael Myers himself. This is a depiction of the character as a doll, as a gender bent version of the character as a doll. So again, doesn't have to make sense. But I don't know. I feel like maybe some knives would have been better object heels. It wouldn't have, like, to me, it wouldn't break the fourth wall like the VHS tapes do. But the fun thing here is that the VHS tapes are actually removable from the shoes. From the shoes itself. Sorry, girl, I've been talking for so long. Okay, pardon me. But the shoes are one piece, and then the VHS tapes are a separate piece, and you can actually, like, again, connect them. They are two separate pieces that kind of connect to each other. So I think that's really lovely, and they do have printed details as well on the actual tapes. So overall, I mean, this is just one for the doll history books, right? Like, this is one of the better Skullectors we've ever gotten, like up there with Pennywise, Alien. So it just seems like Greta. So this is really like insane. And she's releasing August, so she is dropping in August, and she is going to be $70 as well. Again, I haven't seen the movies, but I still think, like, as a doll, like, she's just so strong. Like, how can I not try to get this doll? So she is just so good. I think everything about her, there's like a certain level of like, you know, like there's all these details, and there's always like, it's not just for whatever, like all these details have reason to be here, you know, like there's reason, there's all these references, and it doesn't take away from the design. It kind of just, you know, it adds onto the design of the doll. So I think she's lovely. She's definitely, also, is she on the bigger sister body? I'm not sure. It looks like she might be on the bigger sister body. But I think she looks so stunning. And the only issue I have is that perhaps the bodysuit looks a bit cheap. Like, the fabric looks not the best quality, but you know, that's fine. Also, there's these splotches of, again, glitter blood, red blood on the bodysuit. So that is yeah, again, kind of like, you know, this is one of the more like adult dolls, because there's actual like blood on her design, like on the face, the suit. So, and she's got a knife as a purse. So like, that is kind of crazy. But I do think this is just so perfect. So yeah, what do you think? Buy or pass? I think what I'm most excited for with these releases now that have been revealed is that the future of Skullector Monster High seems to be really exciting. Like, again, we have the Buffy 2-pack, which is maybe coming out one day. We still have so many other releases happening this year, of course, that we don't know of yet. But also, Michael Myers getting a doll, like, to me, that does mean that we might get a Scream. We might get a Scream doll of Ghostface. That to me feels more achievable now, because again, Michael Myers, he's holding a knife. Like, she's got blood on her face, on her, like, there's designs that are very adult on this doll that I do think they could make a scary, again, why do I keep saying scary? The Scream movie Ghostface character. They could make a doll of Ghostface. That seems achievable. I feel like that could be iconic if they do that. And there's so many other movies and stuff that they still have to make dolls of, and Catwoman and Goosebumps for next year. That's confirmed. So there's so many exciting releases happening. And it's all happening so quick, and it's all so expensive. And yeah, I'm excited. Like, this, you know, these reveals have definitely kind of, to me, they've reinvigorated my my passion and like my interest here in Monster High for sure. Like, it's not that the previous releases this year have been lame or like, you know, boring. It's just not probably at the same level like most of them anyway. So, but now with these reveals, like Oogie Boogie, Michael Myers, even Krampus being a deep cut as she is for the movie, even also Holiday Draculaura, right? So just all of this, for me, it does kind of like give me hope that the future of Monster High Skullector is still very vast and big and long, and that they do have good dolls that they can give us when they try, and not for like insane prices. So yeah, my main worry is that, you know, all of these dolls are gonna sell out. They're gonna be hard to get. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm holding my breath, because what if these sell out in like a second? And what if we go back to those days of Monster High where every release is like is a hassle, to get through? You know, it's like it's anxiety inducing PTSD, you know, like I don't want to go through all of that anxiety traumatic experience to get one doll. Like, it's just, so I do hope that for a lot of these releases, especially for Michael Myers, because you know she's gonna sell out. So I just hope that they have a good strategy when it comes to releasing these dolls that kind of like gives members, collectors, a better chance to actually obtain them and not have to resort to scalpers, because yeah, scalpers and bots are a real issue. So I just, yeah, hopefully Mattel Monster High sees that they have to fix these issues, and that they really need to like implement maybe pre-orders for all of these releases, just to kind of like give us more of a safety net, you know, like a window of being able to buy these dolls, and not have it be like this huge, like, again, hassle of like FOMO and stuff. Like, I hate that, but I am excited. So yeah, what do you think? Who is your favorite like release here that's been revealed? I think for me, it's probably Michael Myers. Yeah, just even though, again, I haven't seen the movies, it's just undeniable, like how recognizable and iconic this doll instantly is amongst other Skullectors. Like, it just, yeah, she's one of the greats for sure. It's just so good. And then Oogie Boogie is really cute. Obviously, if I had Jack and Sally, I would be even more interested, but you know, I don't. But she's still really cute. And then Krampus, shockingly, is, yeah, like I'm still just kind of like, what? I'm perplexed that they even made a doll of Krampus. Like, there's just, seemingly to me, there would be so many bigger IPs that they could collaborate with. But you know, again, I don't mind. This is a really fun doll, so I'm just like taken aback. Like, I'm like, what? I cannot believe it. Like, you know, it's a huge deal for that movie to get a doll of Monster High. So, and then the holiday Draculaura, Dawn of the Dance Crew Productions, Monster High, Universal Monsters as well, technically, right? So a lot got revealed, and it's all gonna cost money. It's all coming very quickly. You know, August is Michael Myers, October is Oogie Boogie Draculaura, December is Krampus. So we do have a couple of, you know, we have time, but still, like, if you think about in between, you know, September, in September, they haven't revealed what's coming out in that month for Monster High. You know, November, also stuff is coming out. So, and in between, I'm pretty sure there's more stuff coming out as well. So, oof, there's going to be so much stuff coming out, and I am low-key overwhelmed. But what do you think, and how are you gonna manage, you know, budgeting and like buying all these dolls? Like, who is your favorite? Who is your most priority when it comes to these reveals? And how do you feel about the future of Skullector for Monster High? Anyway, that does it for this huge reveal Monster High news video, but I hope you all enjoyed, and let me know what you think down below. Leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hype this video, cuties. Consider becoming a channel member today. Link to join is down below if you're able to, of course, to support the channel that way. No pressure, and so you do not miss out when I post more content like this coming your way and keeping you up to date with all the dollsy you love. Thank you also to all my currently subscribed members. I see you and I appreciate you all so much. Stay safe, be kind. I hope this next time, stay peachy. Kisses.